Welcome everyone to the worst game of 2021. After all, it's got no positive press with anyone whatsoever, with every single person in the comments section describing it less than stellar, and YouTubers like Choctopus titling it a disappointment, with most not even completing that god-awful piece of shit demo out of boredom, with baffling arguments like, why is this way, with the answer either being, because it's Wonderland, or only bringing it up now, as this game is bad, despite other games of the past doing the exact same thing. So while I would say it's baffling, it's not, because back then, when that game did it, everybody was happy, and nowadays the internet has just become worse and worse, and everybody is just a bit more hateful. And it really has brung me to a new understanding of several developers, and really solidified my decision about dropping all of the easy, low-hanging fruits of the big evil corporations. As while it is very easy to look at people like EA and 2K and their gambling boxes and how they are literally turning children into dependent gambling addicts and putting their parents into absolutely crippling debt of which there is no escape, there's already enough people sitting there and bitching about all that. And I mean, for fuck's sake, we are at the point on the internet, we are at the point where there is just so much negativity that we are complaining about a logo now. A logo. Look at this tweet, look at this. Not even the full box art, not the whole box art, just the words. The words! No one cares about the logo. It's on the box, and let's face it, in reality, you're going to be looking at the box for 2 seconds. Nobody cares about what's on the box. It could be a turd made of solid diamond as the mascot on the box, and no one would care, as they're going to look at it for all of 2 minutes during the purchasing, before taking it home, opening the box, throwing the box to one side, and playing the thing that is in the box, the entertainment of which they wanted so badly. So, like, yeah, there's already more than enough people being negative about every single little thing that comes out. Pyro was a bad pick for Smash. She's just another anime sword girl. No, she wasn't. And we could go on, and believe me, by the end of this we will, but I want to show the positive and encourage the positive. My second channel, Inspiration, haha, pun kill me, but that is to show, that second channel has been made to show the good of the industry and to encourage others to see the merit in their work, or if there is something bad, learn why something is bad so that it can be fixed in the future. And already, for Pokemon and the building of a better Generation 9, I am having to rewrite that entire script, as the graphics were pretty bad. You know, we had the Ocarina of Time tree, and this was because it was not a game made from the ground up for the Switch, but rather a 3DS game ported to the Switch at the last second. And Game Freak has already fixed this by working on The Legend of Arceus, which is this full 3D open world type thing. I mean, some of the frame rates on this monkey are a little bit jank, but that is still a definite improvement. And I have already heard from people like James, my friend, who is a casual gamer. You know, he doesn't pick up games. The most you probably see him playing is something like Fortnite. You know, he is a very casual gamer. He didn't even know how to say Arceus' name. He's just like, oh man, have you seen that trailer? What trailer? That Pokemon one? The Legend of Arceus? Yeah, I've seen that. Dude, like, when I saw that trailer, that's what I imagined Pokemon to look like in my childhood. Like when we were playing Red and Blue, that's what I imagined it looked like in that world. You know, this 3D open world with them running around. It's like, oh, nice. And he's going to be buying that when it comes out. You know, he's obviously not going to follow development like myself. He's not going to be looking at the Pokemon Directs and following the development. He's just seen a trailer and he already likes it and he's going to buy it. So it's like, good job, Game Freak. Already, I have to rewrite the second episode on, like, graphics, because already we have improved. Now that we can see you actually building something for the Switch from the ground up rather than porting from the 3DS, there's already a genuine improvement there and it's already starting to come together. Again, the frame rates need to be fixed a bit, but we'll see that when we get to 2022. Anyway, that's kind of the point. There's enough people being negative. I want to show the positive.
Get on a trip with me tonight. Follow me to the other side. Dancing together hand in hand. Taking a trip to Wonderland.
As after all, there are good times and there are bad times in life. And to find happiness, it is important to balance both the positive and the negative. The Balan Theatre appears when that balance is lost. Everyone will find their way to the Balan Theatre at some point, where they will rebalance their hearts and minds to return to a happy life. However, none seem to remember the theatre after they leave. This is what is on the website when opening the page, and it ties integrally into the story and overall message of the game. It is a very, very simple story. Boy or girl, interchangeable, has had a bad moment in their life, leaving them too negative, filled with self-doubt and depression, everyone now talking behind their backs like the maids, which causes them to run away from home, and as such, they are drawn to the theatre with a nice way to do the gender thing, with the mirror reflecting the other universe, so both genders can be in the same cutscene rather than having to re-render everything. So, boy or girl, it's interchangeable, and that's great. Going deeper, we find Balan himself polishing a gem from Rayman 3, noticing our player, and we get our full intro to Balan himself, really selling the showman style look and act, as he is Wonderland. It is Balan's Wonderworld, or Balan's Wonderland after all, so he himself really portrays that Wonderland wackiness, moving much like the Toon Monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh! As you know, here he is just spinning towards our character in a very fast motion, all the colours flying around him. And here is the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, where there is an attack incoming. The eyes are going crazy, and he just bends and contorts his body to move out the way of the blast, laughing. So he is already selling that he is a showman. All of his movements are very quick and energetic to sell that showman style demeanour, as well as all of his more Wonderlandish movements when we get the transition from the real world to Wonderland, are all very animated and stretchy to sell that Toon look, spinning towards you Toon style before pulling a stethoscope out of nowhere, proclaiming that he can hear that a piece of our heart is missing, before giving us a furball and saying that we need to find what is missing. And what follows is a trippy, psychedelic trip down the rabbit hole. You're on the ocean and the ocean is in his cup, and then he drinks you. Why? Doesn't matter. It's Wonderland. It's Toon World. Why can Toon Dragon stretch like that? It doesn't have to make sense. He is a cartoon. He can do what he wants. Although, to be honest, at this point, I would rather be in Toon World with the adorable little dragon, as the madness and nonsense of Toon World is more welcoming than the logic and reason of the real world. All Toon Dragon be doing is stretching and having fun. Reality going out there, turning Mr. Potato Head into gender neutral Potato Head, we can't call him Mr. And everybody wanting to ban Dr. Seuss books due to racism, sexism against Pepe Le Pew and everything in between. Let it go, Spyro. Let it go. You're down the rabbit hole now. The verified check marks can't hurt you. And now, we are in Wonderland. We have several things to look at, as always, so we will first do a normal review. We'll dive into the music and all of that before diving into the backlash and the understanding of these sections. So the first sections will be a lot quicker to just try and make this video more timely.
Come with me and take my hand. Enjoy your trip to Wonderland.
It's good. Some of it relaxing, like the level 1 fields. Some of it more exciting, like the other levels, to give a sense of adventure, like Clock Town. And of course, the boss fights that we will get into later on, so nothing really wrong with the music.
Come with me and take my hand. Enjoy your trip to Wonderland.
They're good. Being what the game is, a collectathon in Wonderland, they went for a more cartoony aesthetic. Not fully eyes on, like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie, everything's got eyes and everything, like the jiggies can talk like but, you know, a much more like a Mario. You know, it's still very colourful, bright and cartoony, but some of the objects are just objects, they do not speak. So while not like full Banjo-Kazooie, it's more like a Mario. So it has that cartoony aesthetic and the collectathon aspect, but does not go full cartoony with like the eyes on all the items and all the items talking. And given what they wanted to do, that being Wonderland, they went for the rolling pin aesthetic. So much like Animal Crossing from this particular part of level 1 here, it's a normal level, but then as you walk forward, like a rolling pin, it rolls towards you. So when you're walking towards this castle, it will look like the castle is rising out of the ground because it was like on the rolling pin and it's now rolling forwards towards you. And not only have they done the normal rolling pin for the castle, but in some areas they have done a inverted rolling pin. So with this field, for example, because it's inverted, it looks as if the hill is rolling up towards you and then over your head before you walk forward, and it rolls down flatwards as you walk, which does create some very interesting visuals. So at least in the artistic aspect of the world, they definitely captured that Wonderland feeling of like all of the bending and contorting lands and everything just being a little bit off. Characters, not so much, but that ties more into the story. You know, this farmer, he is a farmer. However, the actual side characters, like the creatures and the bosses, are fantastic. Each creature, something familiar, like different. Or like the two good examples of this is the dragon, whose top half is floating, being suspended by the fire in his chest. A normal dragon, but a bit different. The main bad guy looks like a rejected over-the-top edgy Knights OC, which contrasts very nicely to Balan's very bright, smartly dressed self. Like if we compare the two side by side, you have Balan, he's wearing a top hat, he's wearing a suit, all very nice and clean, it's all white. And then you look at, that's what it takes to be infinite! He's very messy, he's got all of these spikes and tendrils going everywhere. It's definitely like a good contrast for those two. And then when we have, I am the Phantom Ruby, I am superior Sonic. I cannot do Infinite's voice because he's just like, he's more edgy than Shadow, the edge hurts. But he has the power to turn the normal people of Wonderland, like the farmer, into Heartless. So when the farmer is at his lowest point, he just straight up gets stabbed and he gets turned into a Heartless, which again, the dark side of Wonderland, like the Alice Madness Returns style, works very well with Balan's light style. So from an artistic design point, it all fits into Wonderland. It's all like a very wondrous place. It's all got these weird little quirks like the inverted rolling pin level design where this hill is rolling up. So overall, graphics, very good. They all work well for this cartoony Wonderland.
Come with me and take my hand. Enjoy your trip to Wonderland.
So the gameplay is simple, but fun. Much like Banjo-Kazooie, there are key items scattered across the level, and you need to work out how to get each one. And like Banjo, when one is got, you stay in the level rather than being booted out like Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine. The big difference is, unlike Mario and Banjo, you have no powers whatsoever. You can't even jump. So getting the stars of this game are going to be somewhat difficult if you don't have any powers. The stars are in the form of golden statues of Balan, and to get them you will have to find costumes of creatures. So for us, you know, we're in the first level, there is a trophy over here, I don't know how to get it. Luckily for us, the creatures of Wonderland are here to help. You see, with each single creature in Wonderland, that creature also has a costume of itself. All of them are really fun and creative designs, and each has a power to solve the puzzle. The werewolf spin the blocks to break. The sheep float, and it float up to new areas. And when you combine these together, you're allowed to have 3, by the way, which we'll get into in a moment, but you're allowed to have 3, so when you combine these together, it's not so much a case of, oh, we need to attack, we need to fight our way to this item. It's no longer an action platformer, it's more of a puzzle platformer with something more akin to Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. You know, Captain Toad, he could not attack, he could not jump. It's the same thing here. You can't really attack or jump, but rather than the Captain Toad thing of rotating the level to solve the puzzle and saying like, okay, I need to move Toad here, and then Toad's gonna fall down onto this switch that's gonna raise this. Instead, you will be walking around the level and picking up costumes, and then you will look at the puzzle and say, okay, I need these 3 particular costumes, and I need to combine them in this order to get to where I'm going. Like, for example, if we were to take one that I've made up, but it'll just help explain it a lot better, just say there is a statue on a very high ledge, you can use the sheep floats up, and then you've got to make a bit of a long jump. So once you're at the zenith of the jump, you turn into the werewolf and you spin a little bit to just get that bit of extra distance from the sheep float. So like, that's 2 powers combining to get a statue. So yeah, it's more of a puzzle platformer like Captain Toad, and it will require a combination of costumes of which you can pick up spares. At the start of a level, if you enter a new level, you will be taken into your wardrobe where all duplicates of costumes are stored, and you will be able to select any 3 costumes to take with you into that level to solve the puzzle, which some are obviously not in each level, like any collectathon, Spyro 2 for example. There will be some backtracking, like when you get the head bash in Spyro 2, you do not get the head bash till the Winter Tundra. So when you're in the very first world and you see the head bash chest, you're like, oh, how do I open that? I'm trying everything. I'm flaming it, I'm charging it, I'm doing the thing that Moneybags just taught me. I cannot open this. I do not understand. And then you'll go through the game, you will get to the Winter Tundra, you'll be taught the head bash for 2,000 gems, and then when you perform it for the first time, when he tells you how, it's like, ah, I get it, because the horns are going downwards and the target was on top of the chest. Now I can go back to World 1 and open the chest. And the same applies here. In the very first level, there are some cobwebs, and cobwebs, spider, you know, you put 2 and 2 together, that you're either going to need a spider or a fly or some sort of insect that can traverse the cobwebs that is not in this level, but you kind of got that in the back of your mind. Then you'll get to World 3 where all the insect powers are, and you might have forgot it, you know, you might have been solving other puzzles, but then you'll come across the spider, you'll dress up as the spider, and you'll be like, oh, Spooder! I needed that for the first level. And then you'll go back to the first level with the spider, and you'll climb the cobwebs, and there you go, there's a statue. So it's a puzzle platformer, but it still does have some of the backtracking elements, like Spyro, where you get like the powers later on and then you come back, or even Crash, like where you get the Crash Dash at the end, at least in the original trilogy, and then you go back and get the relics later. So yeah, it feels nice, you know, it's not particularly overly complex. There's not that many enemies. Again, it's more akin to Captain Toad. It's not so much the fighting for the item, just more what combination of costumes do you need for the item. And I feel like that's fine, but you know, they have thrown a couple of enemies in, like these ones in World 6 in Clocktown that you just have to jump on. It's very simple, it's, you know, it's just Mario. If you've got a werewolf power like the spin, you can spin them Crash Bandicoot style, and they're not that hard to take out, and of course there is boss fights, but it more tries to be like Captain Toad, where it's like, it's just a fun adventure, solve the puzzle to get the thing, rather than like Dark Souls, let's go kill everything.
Come with me and take my hand, enjoy your trip to Wonderland.
And from that, you might guess that this makes the controls fairly simple, and they are, that being a button and the left stick and the right stick. The left stick moves, the right stick cameras, and then the action button be the action. And when I say the action, each costume has one action. So the kangaroo jumps, the werewolf spins, the sheep floats. But these even if you have all 3 of these in your inventory, the costume does not get all 3 powers. So if you are in the wolf costume and the wolf spin, the wolf cannot jump. So you will have to swap back and forth between the 3. So when I say the action button, it's because once you put on a costume, whatever that costume's power is, be it jump, spin, float, whatever, that is the one single action that costume will get. So that's again why it's a lot more like Captain Toad, as like Captain Toad, you had the left stick to move Captain Toad, the right stick to rotate the camera around the level, and then one action button if Captain Toad ever needed to push a block or press a button. So it is literally the Captain Toad controls, except rather than like rotating the entire level, you're just rotating the camera around your character. So yeah, it's very simple. It does have a few bonuses, and this is probably my one critique of the controls, where you go into a quick time event with Balan where he's fighting. That's what it takes to be infinite! And you see this shadow like phasing onto him, and it asks you to press the button when it's on him. And I can see that shadow like twice, but the third and fourth time I'm not seeing the shadow. I don't know if that's broke. I don't understand. Maybe it's just a bit jank. Maybe that is the one part that's not polished. And yeah, I think that needs a definite look at. But that's a mini game, which all that rewards you with is more gems to level up the tower in the hub world. Which again, like, considering how the tower can level up, so I'll just briefly touch on this. It's more gameplay, but it's also not. So in the hub world, your little furball chickens can eat gems, and they will go onto the wheel or this playground thing in the middle, and like the more gems you feed them, the faster this number ticks up, and every time it hits 0 it upgrades the tower. I've not got the tower to maximum yet, so I don't know what the maximum tower does, but it really is just kind of like for your birds to play on. It doesn't seem like it's affecting anything really, unless there is like some big grand epic secret at the end that we don't know of. However, considering how many gems are just like spammed across the levels, like, you know, Mario coins, and how easy it is to level up this tower, I really don't give... If this Balan bout is not up to standard, I really don't care that much, because the only reward for doing it is more gems to give to your chickens to level up the chicken tower. And considering the copious amounts of gems you get anyway, it's no big hardship if like this mini game is just set there as a mini game. So yeah, aside from that, it's very simple controls, and yeah, they just kind of work. They like Captain Toad, you don't need it to be any more complex. It serves what it's meant to do.
Come with me and take my hand, enjoy your trip to Wonderland.
And it is at this point we start to go way off topic into, well, everything. As you know, this game where the story is to do with joy, and the response and everything surrounding the response is, well, you know. Life is pain! You don't understand! Life is pain to a me-6, Jerry! We're gonna take fucking 2 strokes off your game, even if we have to kill you, Jerry! So as mentioned before, the story is basic, and the story is nothing more than a framing device for an idea that is now sorely lacking within the industry and the gaming sphere overall. Let me mention once again that intro, as after all, there are good times and there are bad times in life, and to find happiness, it is important to balance both the positive and the negative. The Balan Theatre appears when that balance is lost. Everyone will find their way to the Balan Theatre at some point, where they will rebalance their hearts and minds to return to a happy life. However, none seem to remember the theatre after they leave. The whole reason this game was created, and that text exists front and centre of the website and in the intro, is because you are not happy. You are imbalanced. We have COVID locked in. We have COVID, which has locked the world up, restricting us from visiting loved ones. Orange men and old men, terminating and ripping and twisting America. Bojo's bizarre lockdown over here in England. EA and Activision monetizing every single aspect to get kids addicted to gambling, crippling debt. CDPR, crunching devs for 100-hour work weeks, the music industry, DMCAing every single bit of music they can. We are cancelling Dr. Seuss for a drawing of a black guy that he made nearly 70 years ago. Cancelling Fall Guys because Epic bought them, despite everyone being in love with the game and its revolutionising of the Battle Royale into a Takeshi's Castle style. It was the best Battle Royale to everybody. It was the fucking shit. Within one single day of them saying that Epic's giving us some money, boom, you're cancelled. Cancel culture. You are dead. You are trash, Fall Guys. Dead game. We are at the point where we are criticising a logo. A fucking logo. Look at this. This is real. It's 2 words with a bit of blue or pink around them. Once we hit release, no one will give a shit about this logo. No one will care what's on the box. They will only care about the product inside the box, the entertainment within. What's that, Estelle? People are cancelling the Amazon logo because its ripped off tape looks like Hitler's mustache? What? What? Huh? What's that, Vappy? I need to stop now as we're going too deep and Mama Susan don't like that. Yeah, okay, fine. But you see my point. Especially with the last 2. We are at the point where it's any reason to be negative. Any reason to cancel something. Any reason just to be a hateful little bastard. In balance. The balance has been lost. So you all need a good show to rebalance your hearts and minds and return to a happy life. To be able to smile. Just for once, smile. Just smile. Be happy for once. You got your Sinnoh remakes. You got them. You've been asking for so long. Sinnoh remakes. Sinnoh remakes. This isn't a Sinnoh remake. Where's my Sinnoh remake? Right there. Oh, Sinnoh remake. I fucking hate Sinnoh remake. But it was yours. They did it. You should be smiling. Why aren't you happy? The whole reason for this game was not to be that next big revolution in gaming, nor any advancement of any existing genre. It was made for one reason, and one reason alone. Fun. To give people joy. To make people happy. But we can't even have that. Upon the release of the demo, it was lambasted for every reason under the sun, despite literally doing nothing different from anything like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. Everyone ripped it apart. Choctopus is a good example of this, to which I have counters, and this will also play a big part of that black hole of negativity. So I'm going to be taking his video and I will take it apart piece by piece. You know, I will show you a clip from his video and I will just counteract all the points as a point of example. So let's begin.
So here's what confuses me. When you wear a costume, every button just does the same thing? Like, I can't even jump as the dragon. I have to take the costume... I can't even take the costume off. I'm stuck as dragon or flower. Oh, my fellow...
It's literally advertised on the box and makes it a part of the puzzle. Some can't jump, some can. So you need to combine all 3 to solve the puzzles as advertised on the box.
Only be able to do one thing with 4 different buttons. This is a one-button game, not...
Yes, because this is the gimmick, much like the game Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, in which you can also not jump, and in which it is also a one-button game, and every button did the same thing. So why was it okay then and now it's not okay here? Same for others like Katamari Damacy. While not strictly buttons, it was just a combination of collectathon using the Katamari to roll things up. You know, it wasn't exactly like, go around collect the things, kids. I'm Banjo, and I sound like Goofy. You'll never see your family again. But no, even with Katamari Damacy, while not strictly a collectathon, it was the goal to roll up as many things as you can, and like Captain Toad, there was no jumping. The Prince of the Cosmos could not jump. The only way to get to a higher level in a game like this was to roll up all the small things to make the ball bigger, and that way the bigger ball would be able to roll you to a higher elevation. So once again, my point stands. You are lambasting a one-button game when there are many, many one-button games which have never been a problem before, but they're a problem now because why?
What is happening? I hate this.
What is happening? I don't know. What is happening? It's Wonderland. It doesn't have to make sense.
I don't even know what the goal is. I'm collecting these tiers. Let's go.
The store page told you it was a collectathon. Did you not read the box?
It's weird because it's Square Enix, but it's very Sega.
Because someone from Sega did work on it.
Still time before the game comes out to be fixed, right? You got like a month and a half. They're not going to fix it, are they? This isn't even the Switch version of the game. Can you imagine what that dumpster fire smells like? What is...
I don't really see anything to fix. Like, to be fair, I don't know the Switch version. I heard that the Switch version did have some frame rates and a little bit of lag here and there, which is fair play because the Switch is not the most powerful console, and I do hope that these things are fixed. But I got the PC version, and the PC version is fine, and if you watch my full stream VODs of both parts, we do not find any of these issues.
Let me tell you guys, we're gonna need a lot of likes on this video if you want me to do a full playthrough of Balan Wonderworld, because Lord knows I'm gonna need the strength.
Then don't. It's clear you're not going to enjoy it, and you're only here to have a bad time and mock it, so why even do it? Even if it got the likes, which, honestly, that's a rather cynical reason to play something purely because of likes and not because you will enjoy it. That's like me saying, hey guys, if this video gets enough likes, then I'll play that fucking Z-grade trash game, Call of Duty. I'll do nothing but be negative and take the piss out of it, and I won't enjoy a single moment of it, but I got the likes, so my hands are tied. I guess we're playing that piece of shit Call of Duty Cold War. Like, what? Why? Well, why would you do that? What? Okay, you got likes, but why would you hurt yourself like that? If you're going to just shit all over it and the only reason to play it is because of the likes, why would you even bother? That is such a cynical reason.
This is very stupid. Wow, what a boss fight. Dodge the tornado and then just break their jaw.
It's not a boss, it's an elite enemy.
Every single button jump? Maybe like, I don't know, hear me out here. I'm not a game developer, but how about one button is jump and one button is usability?
Hey Nintendo, you listening? Write that down! Write that down! Write that down! You got that, Patrick? Write this down, Nintendo. You listening, Nintendo? Let Link jump. Why can Link not jump? Like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker, all of them, I can only swing the sword. What if I want to jump, Nintendo? I have to walk up to a ledge. Why is there no jump, Nintendo? Why is there no jump in the Zelda game? Write that down. To keep more in line with why is there no jump in Captain Toad, because all the buttons do the same thing in Captain Toad, and they purposefully made the game in such a way that Captain Toad can't jump, because if Captain Toad could jump, it would break that particular way they designed the game. But they won't, as like this game, that was how it was designed. It was designed in such a way that the costume powers have to be combined to get the stars, and like Captain Toad, to change that means you have to change the whole game.
What even is the point? What's the point in having, I'm looking at the controller right now, having 8 buttons? Why do we need 8 buttons? This game could be played on an Atari joystick.
What's the point? What's the point of having this controller having 8 buttons if it's a 1-button game? What's the point of having 8 buttons when Captain Toad is a 1-button game? What's the point of having 8 buttons when Super Meat Boy is a 1-button game of jump? What's the point of having 8 buttons when Katamari Damacy is a 0-button game that only uses the sticks? What's the point of having 8 buttons when Mario is a 3-button game of jump, long jump, and sometimes items? Sorry, 4 buttons, ground pound. What is the point of having 8 buttons when Fall Guys is a 2-button game of jump and grab? It's very rare that a game, unless extremely advanced, like World of Warcraft or something mega, it's very rare that a game, unless extremely advanced, uses all 8 buttons. Even that one that comes to my mind, Fortnite, is 6, I think. Let's count. 1. Aim down the iron sight scope. 2. Shoot/build. 3. Swap to pickaxe. 4. Swap to build mode. 5. Use item like medkit. 6. The jump button. 7. Cycle weapon. That's it. That's it. So even Fortnite, that is fairly new, you know, it's this generation, even Fortnite still only uses 7 of the 8 buttons. So the what's the point of having 8 buttons kind of falls flat, as if that's the case, what's the point of having 8 buttons for most games? Because once again, things like Mario, Fall Guys, other simple games, this has never been a problem before, so why is it a problem now? You played Fall Guys, and you didn't complain about the 1 button, so why is it that Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, Captain Toad, Fall Guys, Super Meat Boy, all of these are very limited 1 to 4 button games, so why was it okay now? Why was it okay then, but not now?
Okay, so I could get stuck to the spider web for what reason? I'm guessing maybe there's a spider ability that I can grab and then I'll be able to climb? I didn't...
There is, it's in the full game, just a backtrack puzzle like every other platformer, that's like going into Mario 64, seeing the Haunted Mansion level with the big eye secret room and being like, maybe there's a power that lets me walk through walls? Well, I looked all over the mansion and I can't find the power that lets me walk through walls. I guess the developers fucked up, it's a bad game. No, it's because you have to go further into the game and unlock the invisibility cap when you drain the lake. Come back to my early Spyro analogy of, I can't open this chest. I have tried everything, I guess it's a bad game, because there's no way to open it. No, it's in there later in the game, and this is a demo, so they're not going to give you the entire, because Choctopus is doing the demo, by the way, not the full game, but this is a demo, so they're not going to give you everything. They're not going to give you the entire game in the demo, they're only going to give you a taster. Again, fine in every other game, fine in Spyro where you couldn't open the chest and you had to come back later, fine in Mario when you couldn't go through the wall and you had to come back with the power later, but not here. Why is it not okay now but it was okay then?
Like, 3D platformers can be bad, but this is a whole nother level of bad. I think Square Enix was just like, let's see how lazy we can be while also being as weird as humanly possible. The crop.
Dude, just stop. Just stop. Because now you just sound like... I'm sorry, but now you sound like a bit of a silly person. Oh man, platformers can be bad, but this is a whole other level of bad. And Square Enix is just being lazy. Okay, right, Choctopus, this is just for you now. This bit, just for you, okay? Here's what we're gonna do, right? Because, like, you're being silly now. So what you're saying to me, okay? And I will posit this challenge to you, if this is how you truly feel. If you are saying, oh man, platformers are bad, but this is a whole other level of bad. This is so much of a terrible bad platformer shit collectathon. I've never seen a game so terribly bad. Okay, here's what I want you to do, right? I want you, right now, to go and play 3 platform collectathons that I'm about to list. That's all you gotta do. 100%. You gotta get them to 100%. Then come back and tell me the bad. I want you to go and 100% Bubsy 3D for the PlayStation 1. I want you to go and 100% Blasto for the PlayStation 1. And you know what? Just as a nice little Brucey bonus, I want you to go on 100% Skylanders Swap Force for the PlayStation, what is it, 4? PlayStation 4. There you go. Because if you think this is bad, keep in mind, I am the person that has done a 100% run of Bubsy 3D. Every atom, every rocket. If you think that this is a bad platformer, then you're being silly. You do not know what a bad platformer is. You don't. I'm sorry. You don't. But again, if you go... Here's what I'm going to say. If you go and 100% Bubsy 3D, 100% Blasto, and 100% Skylanders Swap Force, and then come back to me and honestly, genuinely, hand on heart, say to me that Balan Wonderworld is worse than Blasto, Bubsy 3D, and Skylanders Swap Force, then I'll accept it. I'll say, yeah, okay, then it's a bad game. Because I know for a fact there is no way that you will get 100% without complaining. You will not be able to get 100% on Bubsy 3D without being broken into tiny shards. You won't. So if you're gonna say, oh man, this is the worst platformer ever, stop being silly. Because there are far more worse broken pieces of shit than this. And to say that people are being lazy when there's genuine effort gone into like the graphics and the music and like actual effort compared to things like Bubsy 3D, just stop. You're being silly, Choctopus. That's enough. That's the end of his video, but you get my point. Back to the original audio. Okay, and that's enough of that. I think you understand at this point that these things have always existed, but only now does it matter because of the negative feelings that are already there, which is not bad. Everyone has their own taste. If this is not something for you, it's not for you, whatever. But in the era of cancel culture, a negative opinion, especially from a big YouTuber, is the most dangerous thing. As it's no longer, I think it's bad and people agree with me, we move on. It's a, I think this is bad, which in turn now generates a wave of hate so big that even the slightest thing, even the slightest little bit of negativity magnifies in a self-perpetuating, self-amplifying echo chamber where we're like, well, I think these things are pretty disappointing to, this is the worst shit I've ever seen, and I'm now just not directly going to buy the game, and I'm going to go out of my way to go to the Balan Twitter and tell them what useless pieces of garbage they are. And that's happening. That is happening right now. And we will look at that screaming void in a moment. So that is the problem with a big YouTuber, and there's another one, and I'll bring him up. But that is the problem with a big YouTuber not only saying this is disappointing and that's my opinion, move on, but saying this is bad and you would have to like this video so that I would ironically play this piece of garbage, because now you've got hundreds of thousands of people all saying there is also a piece of garbage, and because they are not a YouTuber that can express themselves, they will go directly to the source, directly to the developer's Twitter, and they will bombard that till it is a desecrated wasteland of nothing. And, you know, some of these are obviously going to be, you know, trolls. Take the bait. I've tweeted something really controversial. Take the bait. Like this one. That one's clearly bait. But there are some people that will now genuinely, this person genuinely believes that this is worse than Fallout 76 or Marvel's Avengers. Some buggy, half-baked trash. Despite being miles apart, trust me, I've walked around that glitchy wasteland that broke every 6 minutes. This is not Fallout 76. The difference is night and day by a vast amount. But because that one popular YouTuber said it, that's it. This is now going to be filed in with Fallout 76, with Marvel's Avengers. But I wanted to show this, as when we go this deep, it shows that nowadays, even the smallest, minuscule, insignificant thing is ripped apart, is just sundered, and the main goal of fun is now lost. Now, this is not to say that there cannot be a bad game with bad ideas. There can be. There has been. See Fallout 76. But that comes to the core intent of the game. So, 76, for example, was not made for fun, out of love or passion. It was made as cheaply as possible with no rhyme or reason, purely to get people to spend money in the atomic shop. Whereas this game, and its overall message from the developers and its intro, there are good times and there are bad times in life, and to find happiness it is important to balance both the positive and negative. The theatre appears when the balance is lost. Everyone will find their way to the theatre, where they will rebalance their hearts and minds to return to a happy life. There are good times and bad times in life. To find happiness, it is important to balance the positive and the negative. Correct. Even a good game or a near perfect game like Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight has some problems, and it's fine to call them problems out. It's fine to say those problems, as long as those problems are being projected from a place of enjoyment. You are saying these negatives in the hopes that they will help improve the thing that is already making you happy, that is already making people happy. And if these negatives can be addressed, then they will make other people happy, and overall lead to a better experience all around, opposed to a place of hate and a downward spiral of frustration where no one is happy. A good example of this is Breath of the Wild and Paladins. Breath of the Wild is made by a very talented man that is always looking to try new things and make things better. And Breath of the Wild is bad. It has several issues. The post-apocalyptic setting did not lend well to the story because everybody was dead. The weapon degradation is the biggest issue, and there were several others, and that's a whole other video in of itself. But it came from a place of wanting to try an entirely new genre for Zelda. Zelda has never done open world, and this was the first draft. Not out of a sense of 76 doing an open world for the sake of doing it, but doing it because Aonuma wanted to try and have that wow factor, that next big thing, and was passionate about making this world and making everything go together, like with all the references across the world, like finding Midna's helmet. For some, it worked, but for some like me, it was pretty bad, and we laid out our criticisms and just modded out the bad things. Like weapon degradation, that's gone, that's modded out. Things like playing as Zelda or the other champions, yeah, we put that in. And from interviews, while he can't explicitly say it, it's clear that Aonuma has seen these modded versions, or at the very least seen one modded stream, and has taken all of that on board. He has taken the critical side, and since has made Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, removing everything that the critical side said was bad. Weapon degradation, gone. Story, everyone is alive, and it gives that set of people everything they wanted. And for some, that was all I asked for, and they were extremely pleased, me included. I was extremely pleased with how Age of Calamity turned out, and I am very grateful that Aonuma did that. Aonuma didn't have to do that. He could have just told everybody to fuck off. He could have walked away and just made Breath of the Wild 2. But he did not. He looked at what the problems were, he listened to the criticism, both the positive and the negative, and he made sure that everyone was happy. He made sure that everybody that liked the original Breath of the Wild, they're already happy. And to anybody that wasn't, here's Age of Calamity. It literally fixes every problem that you had. You want to play as champions? Done. You want a full in-depth story? Done. No weapon degradation? It's out of there. Thank you, Aonuma. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you for that. Very talented man. A bad version of this, Paladins, which I got another person asking me about Paladins content after seeing that Paladins stream with Octavia. So, you know, I guess you're gonna get your wish, because after seeing that stream with Octavia where they broke Yago's legs and just nerfed, you know, the end game boss, well, I guess you're gonna get your wish, and I'll type that later. But there are many things that fans are asking for out of love and passion. But unlike Aonuma, Hi-Rez are a lot more corporate, and they want to just throw anything at the wall, and even when people say it's bad, they don't care, and it creates the constant spiral of negativity, which will eventually, and already has with OB64, eventually result in an overall degradation of the franchise and the player base. Like, one small example of this is people are sick of new characters. Like, they are sick of new champions because that's not enough to hold the game together. Where's the new maps? Where's the new modes? You know, when you were making modes like the Rise of Furia mode where you had to climb up a tower, everybody loved it, but since then, they're gone. Where's the new maps and new modes? Oh, we're working on them. That live stream showed Octavia. Where's the new maps with her? Oh no, there isn't. We've just made another new hero. Didn't listen. Then they would like some of the other characters to get skins, because you have characters like Vora, who is one of their newest characters, and while I do like prancing around in a red feathery tutu for Mommy Yagoroth, sometimes I would like to, you know, change my wardrobe. And you go to Hi-Rez, and it's like, hey Hi-Rez, it's me, Vora, you know, your newest champion that just got released in June last year. You know, I'm not even a year old yet, And I noticed that last Battle Pass you didn't give me a skin. Can me, Miss Vora, one of your newest champions, have a skin, please? No. But why? Because you're not meta. And you get the other one, Big Worm Mommy herself, the newest champion, Yagoroth, who is literally only 4 months old. Like, surely, the very first patch, right after her release, we will surely get her skin for her. Right? Right? No? Nothing? But Ying's getting another skin. One of the most overused skin generators ever. She's had 4 Battle Pass skins. The Street Style, the Mermaid, the Egyptian, and now this one. On top of all the other ones that they constantly promote, like the silver one you can win from watching the high-res streams. It's got stale, it's got boring, and everyone feels the same way. Everyone is begging for either older people like Moji or Drogos or Pip. Poor fucking Pip. Pip just got like to get new skins. Moji has got hardly 1 skin since the Dragon Baller event. The only other one she got was the plushie. Willow has just been abandoned. Pip, poor Pip, he's not got one in over a year. But another Ying skin! Another Ying skin! Now that's a high five! That's definitely not breeding this hive of negativity. Again, a video all into itself that we'll do at another time. But it's the latter that is always what happens nowadays. The negative always shines through. The Balan Theatre appears when the balance is broken to restore that balance and that happiness. That's all it was for. It was never meant to be fast-paced. It was never meant to be a high-paced 7-button Fortnite mega shooter. It was meant for one reason, and one reason alone. For fun. To make people smile. To make people happy. To restore that balance. But people don't want that. They just want to shoot things. It's all really funny. It's not, it's sad. But it's so funny and ironic. We all took the piss out of Log in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Ah ha 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 ha, funny. And what's interesting is JonTron's video when he showed that particular line, that was 8 years ago, and the game came out 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Log already predicted the future. He was only joking with his sentiment, but now that sentiment, that joking sentiment by this fucking haha PC Master Race, get it? Because he's a PC monitor with mouses. That haha so funny PC Master Race joke character, his sentiment of nah, kids today just want to shoot things, has become so true and is now reflected by several developers that all they want to do is create interesting experiences, and they are cast aside, disregarded and ripped apart because, well, it's not Fortnite. And now it really makes myself look at these ideas, these interviews, in a whole different light. The infamous Kojima interview over Death Stranding, where he expressed his annoyance at American audiences for being a lot more negative towards the game, as they just wanted more shoot. Back then it was like, well, to be fair, you are coming fresh off the heels of Metal Gear Solid 5 that has a lot of shoot in it. But it's clear as time has progressed, at this time, as time marches on, more and more devs are expressing their frustration, and it's the exact same frustration that Kojima had at their interesting or creative processes or just fun ideas being shot down due to it's just not shoot game. I want more shoot. This dissection of every single little thing, a core fundamental of what used to make gaming fun, is now lost. It's not fun. The market has been so wrapped up in battle passes, daily rotation stores, common, uncommon, rare, or epic, or legendary, or mythical!
Come now, little one, open up your eyes. Open up your eyes.
Seasonal content, that demanding of seasonal content, the culture of crunch, every company being put on blast for every single little thing. Because of this, something has been lost. Just the other day, a data miner of Fortnite supposedly found this in the Blender files, along with a few other things like the single player mode, which, you know, now that Season 6 is out, has been confirmed, where we played with Agent Jonesy and we went through sealing up the rifts and going up the Sevens Tower and seeing that big cutscene. Like, that was data mined before Epic even tweeted about it. There was a single player mode, and I mean, I guess it's not a full mode, it was just kind of like a story intro, but it said single player on it. That was data mined before Epic confirmed it. So it is at least somewhat safe to assume that this Blender file, even if it's like Gemini's head, you know, this cybernetic bunny, this Astro bunny, she's not been used, she's not been released. She was a Season 1 skin that was just, for whatever reason, they never released her. She is just locked in them files. So it is, at the very least, safe to assume that even if, like Gemini, this Blender file will just stay in the archives and never be used, it's at least there. Should it come to pass, there is a Zero Suit Samus in the game, which would make sense as Master Chief and Kratos are already in it, and what should be a nice surprise for Nintendo fans, regardless of whether you like Fortnite or hate Fortnite, like Epic or hate Epic, like Smash Brothers. It should be great news, as even if you don't like it, there are Nintendo fans that play Fortnite on their Switch, and this is a nice win for those Nintendo fans. And keep this in mind, Nintendo absolutely hates anybody using their IPs. Like, you try and use a Mario, take that down. You try and remake AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake, which was better than Federation Force, that's gone. You make Mario Run, sorry, you're taking that down, we're having that. You try and do something Nintendo hates giving away their toys. So if this actually comes to light, if you see this in the shop, that's a big moment in gaming history. Nintendo is actually sharing their IP. That's amazing. That, you know, again, this has not come to pass yet, but that is amazing. So what should be a great moment and a fantastic surprise? Marred, ripped apart. Oh god, Samus is in the game. They're ruining Samus. I don't want my Nintendo characters ruined by Fortnite. This is trash. I hope this data mine's wrong. Why would Nintendo ruin Samus like this? Why is it not the Varia suit? The Varia suit's more iconic. Fucking Epic never can do anything right. It's literally a nice surprise for Nintendo fans. And no, it's trash. Metroid's ruined now. Metroid Prime 4 cancelled. Nothing's ever gonna be nice in this world. You know, you could just smile and be happy for people. No, it's shit. And then and the same happened to Pyra and Mithra. You know, when Pyra and Mithra came out, it should have been a great moment. Everybody was hoping that they'd be in Smash by default, but Xenoblade 2, given the time of release, they just missed out. And then you get Pyra and Mythra in the game, and everybody's like, oh, you know, there is the people that are reacting to it, like, oh yes, that's great. But then you have everybody else. You have the entire Twitter community and Discord community and Twitch community being like, nah, it's just another anime swordsman. It's just another Fire Emblem. It's trash. Why did they pick her? Why didn't they pick Rex? And, you know, this is the second time now that they've picked a female character instead of the male character. They picked Min Min over Springman. They picked Pyra over Rex. I think that this is just bullshit, and now we're going to go full tinfoil hat because it's her and not Rex. It's fueling Nintendo's secret female agenda. Yes, this is real. This is real in the fact that Min Min, a female secondary, got in over the main of Springman, and now Pyra, a female secondary, got in over the main of Rex. Even if it's literally explained near the very end of Xenoblade 2 why she is the main character and Rex is just the delivery boy. But no fun! No fun, no enjoyment, just constant bitching at everything. Anything to bitch, anything to find flaw, anything to just be the most negative piece of human garbage that ever existed. And as this gets bigger, more and more devs are just getting demoralized. A more recent one than Kojima is in the form of Bennett Foddy, openly saying this. Listen to this excerpt about B culture and B gaming.
And for the most part that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds. Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you can build culture out of trash. But only trash culture. B games, B movies, B music, B philosophy. Maybe this is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted. There's 3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fanfic novels, scan magazines, green screen Shia LaBeouf, banned snuff scenes on LiveLeak. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups, car crash epic failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled. Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, and we hit refresh. And there's years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight. In this context, it's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle, that lets you churn through it but not earn it. Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill, filed in with the bland things?
When games were new, they wanted a lot from you. Daunting you, taunting you, resetting and delaying you. Players played stoically. Now everyone's turned off by that. They want to burn through it quickly, a quick fix for the fickle, some tricks for the clicks of the feckless.
That was a few years ago. Getting over it, it was meh. And when we heard this at the time, again, it's kind of one of these, wow, this is really, aged well. Because at the time I was like, yeah, okay, but I don't believe that. But you see it now. You see all these comments. Dead game. Just give me the new battle pass. Give me bland, easy content where I can casually come in, maybe get a victory royale and leave. God damn. It's scary. It's scary how right this became. And that was going to move us on to our final point. That was going to be it. But then two other things happened, and it's just something that I want to really point out. And the first one was an interview with Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, you know, I criticise Scott a lot. I have my rebuttals with Scott, and I don't particularly like how he conducted the series with Night Trap, the constant night trapping. And he's a very introverted man, and he doesn't like to speak out, he doesn't like to talk to anybody. And he did something very rare the other week, which was give an interview. And they went through the entire history of mainly Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, some of his older games like The Desolate Hope and Chipper and Son did get brought up. But it was mainly just like his creative process about like the starting and the ending. And it was, you know, it was just very normal for the most part. You know, Five Nights 1, he was just like, I didn't really expect it to get this big. You know, I was just kind of making little games, trying to make an extra $50 to feed the family. And, you know, I made Five Nights 1, and I didn't even upload it on Steam. It was on Desora, a site that's now shut down. And, you know, it got like 100 downloads, and I'm like, oh, you know, that's alright, that's like $1,000. And then the number kept going up and up and up. And then I saw Markiplier had played it, and then the number was just going shh. And I kind of like had a bit of a panic attack. And, you know, he went on with like people that criticised the game, and he kind of listened to the criticism. And it brought us to one moment where I definitely gained a lot of respect for him for going to that point. So by Five Nights 4, he was trying to fix things because people were never happy. In Five Nights 3, people weren't happy with the jump scares, so he tried to make the game a whole lot more scary. And then in Five Nights 4, the story was a mess, so he tried to fix the story. So like, he was trying to fix things, but there was always something new, and he couldn't let that go as a person. You know, he was very hung up on these points, and he couldn't let that go. And then he got to FNAF World, because at that point, the game of FNAF is about death and murder of children. And he basically said, you know, there's only so much you can think about death and the great oblivion and murder and darkness and depression until you finally start to break. And I just wanted to make something happy. I wanted to make something fun. I just needed to make it. Even if it wasn't good, I just needed to make it. And that's not a good mindset to have. And, you know, that's what resulted in Five Nights World. And I thought Five Nights World was fine. You know, it served the purpose that he said. He wanted to make something happy and something fun. But again, with how we are reflecting Balan Wonderland, despite FNAF World just being something made for happiness and fun, everybody ripped it to fucking shreds. Everybody slammed it into the ground. How dare you have fun? How dare you have enjoyment? How dare you make something creative? And in my review of that, I stood up and I said, no, this is the better one. All those night cam games, yeah, they're pretty trash. This is the one that I wanted. This is like The Desolate Hope. This is the thing that made Scott good. This is the thing that I wanted to see him do more of, because this is where his creativity gets to be on show. This is The Desolate Hope. And in that interview, he said, like, you know, now that I've got a bigger team, now that I can let, you know, like Steelwool do their own thing, I would potentially like to do more bigger projects like this, but, you know, I take a lot more time to work on them. So maybe a Desolate Hope 2. He didn't confirm it, but he said the words Desolate Hope 2. So please don't do that. Don't break my heart, please. So like, he went through all of this, and then he said this. I'm not even gonna ad-lib that. I'm gonna let you hear his own words. about his defining change that he got in the mail.
Taught me to never take for granted
Yeah.
how special it is to have a group of people who are eager to play what you make. Whenever I made I'll use the Desolate Hope as my example again. I saw one person made a piece of fan art of that on the internet. I found it on Google, so I'm going to draw one of the characters, and that was the most special thing to me
Yeah.
in the world, that someone had drawn a picture of one of my characters. Like, I can't even tell you how important seeing that one drawing was. And it was just, I'd have no idea who it was. But then, to have a fan base and to have kids that are drawing these pictures and, sending, I got a letter from the other day addressed to Foxy.
Oh.
And God bless the post office in my town for knowing me and for sending me these letters anyway. I kid you not, it was addressed to Foxy, only to Foxy, and I think below it might have had some other clue as to who it was for, but the post office made sure to pass it along to me.
Oh.
How awesome is that? And the letter was written to Foxy. It was asking Foxy a question.
That's so awesome.
That's so. There's nothing more priceless than that.
Yeah.
And to have a fan base, of people who care about these characters in the games, that is the only thing that matters. And they should never be taken for granted.
Yeah.
And who cares if something is commercial, and who cares if something is going to make a whole bunch of money? You just have to make sure that whenever those people finally get to see this next thing, that it's something that lifts them up and makes them happy, and it's something that it was everything that they wanted to see. That's all that matters. And I need to write that kid back. I'm going to go get a big envelope and put a bunch of Foxy plush toys, and I'm going to write a letter as Foxy. I've never done that before, but I'm going to totally do it. And I'm going to even make a little tear in the paper and say that it was my hook that said it. I'm going to totally do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
That's a long story. But no, FNAF World taught me to never take for granted your fan base.
That's fucking beautiful. That is so fucking nice. This guy, he's getting fucking ripped to shit over a game that he just wanted people to have fun with. He's having to take it down off fucking Steam, even though it was just made as a silly little thing for people to enjoy because everybody's just being a negative piece of shit. He's now, even the thing that he wanted people to have fun with is getting shit on. He's like in this fucking downward spiral. And he gets a letter from a little kid that thinks Foxy's real. Just writing a letter to fucking Santa Claus, except he's writing it to some fucking pirate fox. And it's at that point he just says, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck who thinks my games are shit. I don't give a fuck who wants to criticise it. I'm just going to ignore them. They wanna sit there and be negative Nancy's. They can sit there being negative Nancy's on my block list, because as long as that kid's happy, as long as that one little fucking child thinks that Fox is real and had a good time with my silly little RPG, I made someone smile, and it's all worth it. And when I fucking get done with this, even though I don't do role playing, I'm gonna sit down and I'm going to write a letter as Foxy, and I'm going to bundle all that up with a Foxy plushie and some Foxy toys. I'm going to ship it out to that child. And like, when I didn't add this bit, but like, that's where Security Breach comes in, because he's like, and now I just want to make the next big thing. I just want to make this thing, this big grand thing that makes people happy. And if people say Security Breach is shit, but then one person says it's good, I'm gonna listen to that one person, because honestly, I don't need your garbage. And it's like, that's fucking beautiful. That's great. Good on you. And you know what? Considering I've been following that, because it actually looks like Alien Isolation, looks like a giant 3D map where you're running from a big scary thing, and every so often you'll check your watch, like, oh god, is the xenomorph behind me? The xenomorph's behind me. I've got to hide in the vents. If it's going to be like Alien Isolation, I'm already happy with it, dude. We don't know yet, it's not out yet, but like, good on you. But again, another story, particularly about the FNAF World bit, where the man just wanted to make people happy, wanted to make people smile. Fuck you, ripped apart. Don't you dare make something happy. and then we get into our final point. And this is the one that this big fucking tangent has been leading up to. This is the one why it's so long, because again, like Scott, that would have been the end. Scott Cawthon's interview, that there was a great interview. The interviewer did a great job, and he gives some great answers, and that would have been the end. And said, why can't more people just be like this? Why can't, you know, the developers just say, hey, a child sent me something in the mail and I'm listening to them rather than all these dickheads? But that's not the end, because then one YouTuber tweeted, and that's now killed Balan Wonderland. No matter what I think, I'm a 1,000 subscriber YouTuber. It doesn't matter what I think. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, no matter how much I can try and sell you on this, that it's just a game for fun, one big YouTuber said something, and that sealed Balan Wonderland's fate. Balan Wonderland is dead before it even started. Balan Wonderland has been fucking cancelled before it even started. And that's so fucking sad. So, as I say, that was going to move us into the final verdict, and I'll just give it a score and be out of here. But then, a big YouTuber just had to open their mouth with the worst one of the lot, starting a wave of hate that has destroyed Balan. That being Arlo, with this tweet. I honestly don't know what they could change. I finally played the demo, and I don't think I can say even one single good thing about it. Run speed would probably help most, but still not much. Such shame. I can't find a single good thing to say about it. Then you're talking bullshit, Arlo. You are talking bullshit and you just want attention. So you're saying, right, Arlo, me and you now, you're saying you can't find one single good thing about it. So you're saying that the colourful, cartoony graphics that you praise in all the other Nintendo games are now suddenly shit and are on par with some copy-paste graphics from FIFA 20. Are you serious? Are you really serious? I can't find a single good thing to say about it. So you're saying the gameplay is on par with Fallout 76? You're saying it crashes every 5 minutes because it's that unstable? That's what you're saying, Arlo. That's what you're saying. Better miss me with that shit. But okay. You know what? Let's do a little experiment here. Let's do a little experiment with Arlo, okay? I want you, everybody watching this, in a moment, when I say, I want you to timestamp this video, specifically to the point that I'll say, like, start timestamp. I want you to timestamp this video when I tell you to. And I want you to make sure it starts at that point. And I want you to send that to Arlo. I want you to tweet him. I want you to just, like, make sure that Arlo gets this part of the video, okay? Okay. Timestamp it now. I don't think I can find a single good thing to say about it. Okay, well, I mean, the same can be said of you Sesame Street reject. You're nothing more than a bootleg Grover. Your channel is built on shitty memes like, where is Pikmin 4? And other crappy clickbait like, oh no guys, directs are over! They weren't. Everybody knew they weren't, but hey, at least you got some easy clickbait views. And then your Twitter is nothing but hot takes for you to wire your fanbase into a destructive frenzy. Like this one where you're like, I don't think there's a single good thing I can say about Balan Wonderland, equating it to truly bad games like Anthem and Fallout 76. Why do you exist, Arlo? What is even the point of you? To make content, to try and fill a meaningless hole, to hope to be the next PewDiePie, the next big meme YouTuber? Well, it's not going to happen. You might as well delete your channel. Honestly, I can't even find a single positive thing to say about you. Okay, it's over. Now Arlo, just you, Arlo. I hope people got this to you. This is now directly addressed to you, Arlo. And I hope that people did manage to get this to you. I want to ask you a question right now. How do you feel? Are you mad at me? Do you think I'm a cunt? Were you already moving to that block button on both YouTube and Twitter? Did, if only for a second, did it cross your mind, even if it was just split second, did it cross your mind out of spite to weaponize your fan base to destroy me, even if only for that brief moment? Or are you feeling the opposite? Dejected? Depressed? Do you feel hurt that someone views your content as literally worthless and less than trash? Did you, for a brief moment, even if it was only split second, did you actually think, if only for a second, that your content was actually garbage and you just should not make videos? Or are you laughing? Are you the big YouTuber? You're this big YouTuber laughing, untouchable, laughing at some random 1,000 sub channel, trying in vain to take you down, scoffing at my own crappy hot takes. If any of the top two are true, of anger or sadness, if either one of those are true, I want you to ask yourself, if you are feeling that way, that some shitty 1,000 subscriber YouTube channel said you were bad and this person has no real pull or influence, how do you think it feels for a developer to hear your shit and then have 1,000 other people also say the same shit? Because you are a nearly 600,000 person that has a good deal of influence, and that influence is spread to hundreds, if not thousands of people that now have the same idea. Get a couple of those, 2, 3, or maybe even, let's go for a big number, get 10 of those like yourself and Choctopus, big 100k plus names doing that. Combine all of those people, you've just sent an army on somebody. And while this was just for a simple making of a point, I have no ill will towards you, Arlo. I just wanted to make a point to see how you feel so that you understand. If you want to make, purely Nintendo content, that's what you enjoy. But it just reaffirms the point that there is no joy in the world anymore. People are now more quick to find the bad than the good. If you want to be a bastard fueling a hate mob, then at the very least send it at genuinely evil people, as there are some genuinely evil fucks in this industry. Activision CEO, the sole tyrant that treats his workers like slaves and pays them slave wage to the point where they can't even afford meals in Activision's own cafeteria, and then when firing said slaves, does not give them a severance package to live off of until they find a new job, but rather a $200 voucher for Hearthstone. And people wonder why they call him the devil. EA CEO Android Wilson, that is actively trying to promote and encourage kids to get harmful gambling addictions and empty their parents' bank accounts to force them into a life of crippling debt of which there is no escape. Or Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, that for over 10 years has and still is protecting abusers and literal rapists like this cunt Sergei Haskaway, that has drugged a woman on company property in company hours and proceeded to rape her in company property, in company hours. And while not directly part of Ubisoft anymore, he was free to walk away with no worries, no fears, free to enjoy all the benefits and bonuses a CFO gets when leaving a company. His rate rewarded with a nice 15% share in Ubisoft, while his victim is barely making rent. By this tweet, Arlo, you are saying that there is no good in Balan. You cannot say anything good about it whatsoever. You are putting this on the same level of Bobby Kotick's Devil Filth. You are putting it on the same level of the android's harmful children addictions. You are putting it on the same level of protecting abusers and rapists. If you want to be 100% negative and say there is not a single good thing to say, this is then to say, by extension, the game and its developer is on the same level as all the ones mentioned above. If you wish to go for the low-hanging fruit, by all means, go for the low-hanging fruit. Go and be negative, and go and be like Young Ye and Jim Sterling and everybody else, Sid Alpha. Go and rip these companies apart. But if you want to portray your friendly, happy Sesame Street character, then I would choose your words very carefully, because by that tweet, and by extension Choctopus and other big YouTubers' tweets, Balan Wonderland is now dead, destroyed, gone. And that comes to the final bit. That comes to why it's dead and gone. Because after all of this, after everything that happened in that demo, all the negativity, all the backlash, all the sheer waves of destruction aimed towards the developers and subsequently their Twitter, they listened. They did what you asked. They listened. And they got shit on for it. Because it's never good enough. You think that's good enough? It's never good enough! It is the Fortnite problem. Everywhere you went on Fortnite's Twitter last season, there was spammed comments like to bring the pump back, like to bring the pump back, like to bring the pump back. It's broken. The pump is broken. It does 200 damage, one-shotting you. And given the fact that there are a lot of pros in the game, it's very easy to just build over someone, boom, you're dead. No! Bring the pump back! Dead game, dog shit game, bring the pump back or dead game. Epic, listen to you. Trying to make everyone happy. They give in to this demand and they just unvaulted it. Here you go, there's the pump. They unvaulted it without changing it whatsoever. Can you guess what happened? That's right. All the pros had their insta-win editing and they just insta-edited over people, shotgun combo right in the back, and have destroyed all the little kids. And now, despite begging and pleading for their beloved golden pump to come back out of the vault, right now, no testing, right now they are bitching it's too strong and they want it removed. They want it back in the vault because it's too strong. I want the golden pump back! I want the golden pump back! Here you go. This is broken and I hate the golden pump! Then why did you ask for it? Directly correlating to Balan. A mostly okay game with a few flaws. But rather than just being allowed to look at the main flaws like that quick time event in Balan's bout, rather than being able to just look at a couple of flaws and fix those, because of Arlo's tweet, Choctopus's tweet, other big YouTubers' tweets, they were met with an orbital bombardment bombardment of everything is shit, everything needs fixing, fix or no buy, it's a garbage game, haha, fun garbage game, who would ever buy this? So, in a rush to meet childish demands, we have one hell of a rush job of a day one patch. The developers apologising. They apologised! They're right here! Look at them! They're right here saying sorry that they could not fix everything as quick as possible. You know, they've had to rush to make this patch to meet your demands. They rushed and they even said sorry. And they apologise that they can't put everything in it, but we can put some stuff in a day one patch. Well, thank you. Thank you, developers. You know, it was not really needed, but you said sorry and I will take that apology. Thank you very much for listening. But of course, despite them going out of their way to do what you gamers, TM, asked them to do, that was met because of all of these big YouTubers saying, I can't find a single good thing to say about it. That was not met with thank yous and cherished adoration, was it fuck? Well, there was obviously some people appreciating the patch due to the tweets and other petty tweets. These fixes were no longer, oh thank you very much. They were met with, once again, an orbital bombardment of raging and snarky comments like this, where it's like, a day one patch, well, it's still going to be a complete fucking train wreck. Or this one, still going to be a shit game, I'm just going to play Monster Hunter Rise, a good game, even though you did all this for me. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! This is why no one can ever be happy in gaming. This is why when someone says gamer, the word gamer no longer sparks a childlike wonder of joy of going to a far-off fantasy land to escape this grim, dark reality that we're all going to die one day and we will have no impact on this planet. No, nowadays, hearing the word gamer sparks words like toxic, entitled, hypocritical, and so forth. Shithead children bitching till they finally break the developer into getting what they want. And then, even when the developer yields and gives them what they want, they still bitch and moan that everything is shit and is not good enough. And it's not like Twitter helps nor snuffs out this kid's behaviour. Because everyone is special. Everybody is a special little creative flower. No, they're not. No, they're not. Some people need to be told. Some people either need to be banned from commenting on your site or banned from Twitter altogether. See this dude? That guy right there? He's not saying anything. He's like, well, it's still gonna sell 0. Ban him, Balan. Ban his ass. It's better for everyone. He says it's gonna sell 0. He's not buying it. He's never going to play your game, and he does not care about your game. He's not contributing anything to this conversation, so he does not need to be here. And B, nobody wants him here. Banning him, banning this dude, means that you don't have to hear his obnoxious garbage, and other people can hear what you have to say. All the other people who are actually trying to help can help you. And we don't have to see this person's garbage. Gone. Ban him. Get rid of him. He is not providing anything constructive. Let me show you a post on Fortnite's Twitter. So the event just happened recently, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people loved that single player event. Some people didn't like it, but you know, everybody has their own opinions, and both of those opinions are good. Both of those opinions are valid. But then there's that third comment, there's that third kind of comment, which is one of two things. Either, quote, dead game, no context, no criticism or anything, or a insult followed by the word ratioed. Shit game plus ratio. No one cares plus ratio. Ban them, Epic. Get rid of them. If they are saying dead game, no context, you don't need to see it. No one needs to see it. If they are saying dead game, they clearly don't need to see your posts and they can move on with their lives. And we don't have to see the word dead game spammed across all of the comments section. Look how much cleaner it is when all the pointless dead games and hashtag ratio is all cleaned away. Imagine if we could actually see a comment section like that, where it's just a nice time seeing what everybody thinks of the event and the new season. Good or bad, again, the bad can be constructive with none of these haha, dead game, shit game plus ratio. I don't even know what ratio means and I fucking hate that word now. Would that not just be such a nice experience if Epic just banned all them accounts? But no. Because again, Twitter, everybody's a special snowflake. So we get to where we are today, where somebody just wanted to make a game to make people happy. They just wanted you to run around dressed up as a little sheep. Meh. Make little barring noises, sheep. Enjoy yourself, you're a sheep now. Oh, what's that? You want to be a dragon? Oh, look, dress up as a dragon. Breathe fire. It's fun. Some guy just wanted to make a nice little thing to make everybody happy. And big YouTubers said it was bad. And because no company or gaming account has the balls to block these entitled little shits, they get bombarded with negativity in the comments. And even when, despite you calling them a piece of shit, they listen to your demands and patch the game, you still call them shit and have another negative lashing out. You should have aimed for the head. Except, my snap would not actually be like a random 50-50 chance. It would be targeted. It'd be targeted at people like this. Just, oh look, you said something bad that contributes nothing to this Twitter account. Oh, there you go. Now you don't have to look at this Twitter account. Now you don't have to grace everybody with dead game and ratio. You can move on with your life and we can move on with our lives. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. So as for my final thoughts, so to wrap this up, if you made it to the end, good on you, and I hope you have a new understanding of positive and negative. And if you are a reviewer and everything sucks, think, why does it suck? Why not try to find the positive? And maybe, just maybe, you will find a new appreciation for things, even if you think that there is nothing good. Like Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is pretty bad. But even I can say that Todd Howard did one thing right. He did two things right, actually. Todd Howard made a fantastic looking world. I don't think anybody can deny. When you step out of that vault and you see those bright, colourful trees, that beautiful orchard stretching out in front of you, and you get to that expanse of the cranberry bog, all of the red grass and the cranberries growing around the mechanical city, I don't think you can deny that visually it looks amazing. And also, even if it's cynical, I do appreciate Todd Howard for making a catalogue in his monetization shop. Even if I don't approve of the way that the monetization is being handled, he at least did something right. There is still something to like about that shop, in that it is an organised catalogue where you can buy everything forever, rather than this garbage daily rotation store bullshit that we have nowadays in things like Anthem, Fortnite, Fall Guys, etc. So if you say everything sucks, Ask yourself why it sucks and try and find at least one good thing, and you might find a new appreciation for it. Life's too short to get mad at every single little thing. Games are meant to be fun. Let's try bring some of that fun back, because right now there's more negative than positive, and we all need a trip to the theatre to all watch a good show and be rebalanced so that we can return to a happy life. And you know, just in case, the video would end there, but just in case you wanted to know an actual number, Balan is good. It's a 3 out of 5. There were some problems like the quick time events in Balan's bout and a few other things that did need criticising. It was never perfect. It was never going to be perfect, but it's also not as bad as people made it out to be. If you did at one point think on getting this, get it. Don't listen to all these big YouTubers. Just get it. Try it. And don't think of it as this thing that needs to be Dark Souls hard. Think of it as a fun little platformer, like Captain Toad, which, like Captain Toad, is also a one-button game. No need to stress out. You don't need to stress about trying to do some big, epic, get the platinum relic on Crash gamer moment. Relax. Have fun. Just watch a streamer. You know, this is going to be a good banter game for streamers where they can just read their chat, because obviously there's not going to be too much combat. They can just focus on talking to the chat. Go watch a streamer, have a good time with it. I mean, I know a lot of streamers like Choctopus are just going to play it ironically and take the piss out of it, but you know, try and find a streamer that's enjoying it and just talk to them. Let everybody have a good time. So yeah, if you ever looked at it and thought it might be good, try it honestly. You might find something enjoyable and relaxing there. You may even find that thing that Balan was looking for. You may even find that missing piece of your heart, that missing piece of positivity to all that negative that you got inside of you. And one final extra thing, as I feel it's the perfect way to end it. There was a speech that came out in 2007, 14 years ago, and so true does it still ring. It's something people really need to listen to, as the words you will hear, again, they ring so true, like the world being kind to the new things like this. Unfortunately, that speech is from a film, so to play it, like with the whole Viacom situation last week, it would result in DMCA 2! So I will try to replicate it as best I can, even if it will not match the elegance and complexity of the scene alone. And I will also change a few lines to better fit the modern era and what's going on right now. But really do go watch the original. I don't even have to tell you what it is. When you hear it, you'll know exactly what it is. But again, even without the pictures, the words hold so much meaning and point out what we have lost. So I'll leave you with that. I thank you all for watching, and I hope that you all have come to a new understanding of trying to find the good in things and not just instantly jumping to the bad. Something I too did in the past, and I'll admit I was wrong. A bitter truth can sting so harshly that it can cost friendships. It can do damage. Like Mighty Fan, a Pokemon fan, I levelled my criticisms of the Pokemon Company and its practices in a harsh tone, and while I stick by them criticisms that has in part led to the degradation of the franchise and where we are today with the whole bring back the National Dex Sword and Shield crisis, the mannerisms in which they were conveyed were too abrasive and had that negative aura, that negative impact that we have talked about. and a gentler touch would have been more beneficial to everyone. And so to anyone, like Mighty, or Ratchet, or the Hydration Nation crew that she hangs out with, allow me to extend my sincerest apologies if the bitter was just too bitter. I never had any ill will towards the fans of things, nor the creators, and like many, due to the overall degradation of the industry with the aforementioned actions of Activision, EA, and Ubisoft, it is very easy to get pulled into that black hole of negativity, and still is, as recently Bobby Kotick, as the end of this business year 2021, is going to receive a $200 million bonus while throwing another 178 workers out onto the street, even though we are in a current pandemic where getting work is hard. He cares not for these individuals. So as you can see, even just like the simplest bit of news can very easily pull you back into that black hole, but it just takes the right thing to alter the course to the good. Something also mentioned in the speech that I will leave you with after this final closing line, that we have all gone so deep down this well of criticism, trying to treat our words as some professional news article that is the be-all end-all, and the AAA industry at least using them words to show a sterile yes or no definitive number, when in reality there was never meant to be a number, nor some perfect written word. So why go into something as such? Rather than going into a game as a harbinger of judgment, why not go into it simply as we once did, happy with what it was, a delicious, nostalgic or new piece of fun to be enjoyed as lovers of games. Which is why, except for Isaac Repentance, as that's half done, I will no longer be giving a definitive number on my reviews, as in the grand scheme of things, well, it will be in the speech, so I'll leave you with that now. So thank you all very much for listening, if indeed you still are, and have a wonderful day. In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read, but the bitter truth we critics must face is that in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is more meaningful than our criticisms designate it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and defence of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends. Last night I experienced something new. A ordinary game from a seemingly unexpected source. In the past, I have made no secret of my disdain towards people like Scott Cawthon and others in the way that they have conducted their businesses. But I realise, only now.
You know, that's so, there's nothing more priceless than that.
Yeah.
You know, and to have a fan base, you know, of people who care about these characters in the games, you know, that is the only thing that matters. You know, and it should never be taken for granted.
Yeah.
And you know, who cares if something is commercial, and who cares if something is going to make a whole bunch of money? You know, you just have to make sure that whenever those people finally get to see this next thing, that it's something that lifts them up and makes them happy, and it's something that it was everything that they wanted to see. You know, like that's all that matters, you know. And I need to write that kid back. I'm going to go get a big envelope and put a bunch of Foxy plush toys, and I'm going to write a letter as Foxy.
What they meant by their actions and what they wanted, which was just to make people smile. It is true, not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anyone. And while it is difficult to see the beauty in the darkness, the gorgeous in the grotesque, as the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining, and if everyone, even just for a moment, stopped to look for that silver lining before lambasting the creation and its creator to the harshest degree, maybe, just maybe, they will find something they overlooked, something that might challenge their preconceptions of the creation. To wit, they may find a new appreciation and enjoyment of the art that they did not see before.